Now that we know how to insert one document using Pymongo, let's show how to insert many documents. So you insert many documents at once by using the insert many command from Pymongo, and it takes two arguments. The first argument is a list of documents to be inserted, and the second argument is an ordered flag, and the ordered flag tells the database whether or not you require the documents be inserted in order. So let's see how this affects what happens, especially when an error occurs when you're inserting documents. So here's a program very similar to the program we looked at before, which is going to insert two documents, one for Andrew, one for Richard. My underscore ID is specified, Richard is not, which means that the database driver, Pymongo, will create a unique underscore ID on insert. We create a Python list with Andrew, Richard, and then we call insert many, and then we specify the list, and we specify that the ordering is true. Now, this program has a little bit of scaffolding around it, not very much, which is that it prints the people in the collection, then it does the insert many, calling my insert many function, and then it retrieves the people out of the collection again. Print people just gets a connection to the database and does a find and shows every document in the people collection. All right, let's run this thing. I've cleared the people collection in the school database so that there's nothing in it. And now we're going to invoke the Python interpreter on the using insert many program. And if I do that, before the insert many, there's nothing in the collection, as we expect. And after, there's two documents, one for me and one for Richard. And I projected out only the name, so I didn't show the other information from these documents. Now, what if I run it again? Well, if I run it again, this time I get an error. And I expected I would get an error because we know that you can't insert me twice because we specified the underscore ID and it's a conflict. But because we said ordered equals true, and because my document was inserted first in the list, if you recall, you'll notice that the document after that didn't get inserted and that we still have only two documents in the collection. I can run it over and over again, and I'm never going to have more than two documents in the collection when I'm done. And again, that's because in the program, the documents are inserted Andrew, Richard. That's the ordering. And since the ordering has to be maintained, and since my insert is going to cause an error, the second insert or third insert of Richard isn't going to occur. Now, what if we change this ordering to be false? And then we try to run it. Then what happens? So now we're no longer requiring ordering. If we do that and we run it, now we're still getting an error on the insert of Andrew. But because the database is not guaranteeing ordering, the insert of Richard happens anyway. So if we run it over and over, now still only one Andrew, but lots of Richards in the collection. And the ordered parameter determines whether or not the database will continue past an error, and in particular, whether or not it guarantees to insert the documents in order, which would stop the inserts on an error. All right. And it also turns out, in case you're wondering, that the ordering parameter defaults to true. And if you leave it out, the database will automatically insert things in order for the insert many command. Now it's time for a quiz. Here's a program that is similar to the one that we just showed you. And in this program, we have an insert many function, and we have a bunch of documents that we're going to insert. And it's going to try to insert these documents using insert many docs. Now, based on what you've learned in this lesson, what are we going to see in this collection after this insert many runs? And here are the four choices. Check which one is correct.